Hi, my name's Cory Mayo, licensed realtor with Monument Sotheby's, and welcome to Who's in the House, your podcast for everything coastal Delaware. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. That way you're updated every time I upload new podcasts or videos. And if at any time you have questions, feel free to email us at info@who'sinthehouse.de as in Delaware.com. You can also call or text 302-466-5511. Now sit back and enjoy this episode of Who's in the House. Speaking of Sussex County, Peninsula Lakes is obviously a big one. Or the Peninsula, sorry, not Peninsula Lakes. The Peninsula is as I call it, our Disney World of Sussex County.
Yes.
Because it's got everything in, that you could think of in a community, compared to everything else. We've got some other good communities, but nothing that's nearly as all-inclusive as, or inclusive or whatever, as the Peninsula. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. But there's more details, and I want you to explain on, from the listing side and what buyers are getting outside of just like the fun stuff that is like included, which I had no idea about. Yeah, that as far as from a monthly expense standpoint. Yeah. So I do want to dive into that, but our main topic is you have two great listings in the Peninsula. Peninsula is located in Millsboro, Delaware, at the end of Bay Farm. My goodness, I always call it Bay Farm Road. And I should know, my mom literally lives around the corner. End of Bay Farm Road, awesome community, gated, and not like real gated. It's open 7 to 7. It's if you don't live there, they're taking your ID and the whole 9 yards. Yeah,
if you don't live there, you have to be on the guards list, or they send you away.
Or you have to go to the Discovery Center and now like check in through the Discovery Center.
If it's 9 to 4.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because outside of that, there's no one at the Discovery Center.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and it's not because of.
It's very secure.
Yeah, and it's not because there's crime. It's just they want to know who's going in and out of the community. It's what all the people that already live there. It's what they bought into. Yeah. That's what they're paying for, and they're kind of expecting that, and they take their job seriously.
Yeah,
they really do.
There are a lot of people that come and say, "I just want to drive through," and the guards say, "Sorry, not that kind of community."
Yeah, and they'll say if you want to, and it's between hours, go to the Discovery Center, and they'll explain the community. Mm-hmm. But they don't want just people just aimlessly driving around the community.
Just out of curiosity. Yeah.
And again, it's not because of riffraff or problem. It's just they want it to kind of stay, exclusive feeling, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've watched a lot of little kids learn to ride their bikes in there. Yeah. You want to keep the traffic down to a reasonable level of, people who care about the community. Yeah.
We were just there on Sunday. The guys had an awesome at the clubhouse. They, I believe they sold tickets for it, but an amazing St. Patrick's Day event, which was, when we walked in there, it was awesome. It was a really cool event that was going on, and my daughter's school danced for everybody, and they loved it. And my daughter, as we're driving through, she's like, "Oh my goodness, this community is huge. I can't believe how much space there is." And there's obviously a lot of that space is big ponds and a lot of open space in the golf course and so much. And then you get back to the amenities, and she's like, "Where am I?" Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 800 acres total, and about 200 of it is in wetlands.
Wow. And there's like fishing ponds that you're allowed to actually, because some of these communities, like they'll stock the ponds for like bug control, but you're not really supposed to fish them. They have like piers that can actually go out onto them. Like you're allowed to actually fish it if you want to.
You know what? I learned something interesting yesterday. They do little educational sessions for residents sometimes, and I went to one where the guy who runs the company who takes care of the ponds was doing a seminar on stormwater management and management of the ponds. Mm-hmm. And I learned that spraying stuff or putting chemicals in the pond water is not what they do. There is a fish, the eastern mosquito fish, I believe it's called, which they put in the ponds.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah.
They eat mosquito larvae.
Yeah.
Hello.
I know. It's So, in which, it's funny. I didn't know this until years ago. A buddy of mine, his sister worked at Disney World, and they don't drive around and spray, obviously, because there's always people in the park. So they use, animals, where the water is, fish and different plants and everything to help control it. But it is, you have access, and when we're looking here on the map, you can see, around, throughout the community, throughout the golf course and everything, all these large bodies of water. You just put the proper fish in there, and that cuts down a huge quantity.
Yeah.
And again, they don't even get to become mosquitoes. It's not like they're eating mosquitoes as they lay on the water. They lay the larvae and then they eat it. So there's no even chance of them even getting out of the water, which is, it's smart. It's
and if there becomes a point in the season where there are a lot of mosquitoes flying around, which actually I've never seen a lot of mosquitoes flying around, but every once in a while, they will send the trucks through to do a spray to keep it under control.
It's, this is nature. The mosquitoes, are here. Any bugs are all here. You can, but the great thing is that you can do, natural things to help prevent or at least reduce it. And then every once in a while you have to intervene, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the great thing is they're not driving around spraying every other day. So it's, because they're using their mind and hey, there are these animals that by nature,
Yeah, they try prevention first.
Sure.
And, do it in a very ecologically sensitive way.
Yeah. And when you drive through there, the cool thing that I found with the peninsula is that when you're driving around, there are always people outside. There's the variety of homes. We go from condos all the way up to just massive multi-million dollar homes, and people love their homes, but they're there for, ironically, a lot of lifestyle outside of their home, and they're doing that, for sure.
Yeah, you see a lot of people out on their bikes, a lot of people just out walking, a lot of dog walking too.
Yeah.
It's a pet-friendly community.
You said 800 acres, so there's a lot of space to, again, you can ride your bike and not even have to leave your community. A lot of people do, but you don't have to because it's a big community. So it's neat though. It really is. You just see people out and about all the time, which is nice. There's nothing wrong with communities that are smaller and that people just kind of go, and I don't want to say they're hermit, but they just live in their house and maybe they pop out to go to the pool and then go back into hibernation. But this is not one of those communities. And I think it's a little bit contagious. People see people out and about and enjoying the sun, and they're like, I think I should be too. So you're always to see. It's a lot of energy that's going on in the peninsula, which is
it's a really nice place to be.
Yeah. As far as the community, obviously there is golf. And we'll talk about there's different memberships, which I know a little bit about, but you know everything about, so I'm not even going to pretend to understand it. And for full clarity, you don't work for the Peninsula. You are a licensed, realtor, real estate agent with Monument Sotheby's, and there's an office that's located there. But you and Paul are our resident experts on everything the Peninsula, because while it is, once you understand it, it's very easy to understand. If you don't dive into it, we just lean on you guys because you guys are the experts on it for sure. But golf, an amazing, top level golf course.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus signature course, which means that Jack actually was the designer. And I was happy to be out there on the day that the course opened up, and he played the first round. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because back in the day, I actually worked for the developers.
Awesome.
I was an on-site sales agent for them.
So. Yeah. When I was in the clubhouse, I saw there's pictures of him all over the place. I mean, all over in the clubhouse, playing and everything. And I'm like, is he just playing or is he playing here? I guess he was actually playing there, which is
I got a picture of him and me on opening day.
Oh, that's awesome.
On my bulletin board.
That's really, really cool.
I was much younger then.
But it's a stunning course. It really is.
It's beautiful.
It's a very, very beautiful. The money that goes into your rounds is definitely put back into the course. It is stunning. Yeah.
Impeccably maintained, and there's water features on every hole except 2.
Yeah.
It's a challenging course.
Now it is.
But it's not.
It is private, so you have to live there or know somebody and be a guest to play with them. If you're going to be playing there, and to that part, if I were a guest playing for someone, and I'm now going back to the whole gated portion of it, what would I as a resident would call to the front guard station, say my friend's coming, or how does that work?
Yeah, we actually have an app you can have on your phone.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It takes about 30 seconds, depending on how quickly you type your friend's name.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you go on, you register what date are they coming and who are they, and boom, they're on the guards list.
Oh, cool.
And,
okay. So you don't have to call down there and they're not available.
It's a really easy
cool.
thing
Awesome.
to do. They just show their ID when they pull in to make sure it's them.
So then they come to the house. You go over to the golf station or the golf,
The clubhouse.
Clubhouse, and then just get set up and get your cart and go have a good time. So, awesome golf course. There's a new pool that's opening up over there or something, right? Or expanding.
There's a new pool that opened last summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about midway through the season it opened, and it is huge. I couldn't believe the size of it.
I'm wondering if it's updated on Google Maps or not.
I really doubt that it is updated on there.
Yeah, I know it's very brand new.
Scroll down.
I'm lost.
You're in the right place. It's almost centered on your screen now. No, it's not there. You see where the tennis courts are?
Oh, yeah.
Down at the bottom?
Yeah, I know that. I mean, and the pool that was there was already phenomenal, and they didn't replace it. They added two to add more additional space for people that are there.
We had a big rectangular. I've forgotten what you call it, where you don't see a side to the pool. It just drops away.
Like zero entry, like
it's
that.
Not a zero entry walk-in, but it's a
infinity
pool.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, one of us will figure this out.
Yeah, it was an infinity pool, and it's beautiful, and they've got flowers around it, and lots of lounge chairs and umbrellas, and a cabana bar at the end, and a grilling area where you go over and get your hamburger or cheeseburger, which are great.
So you don't have to leave or have call-in or anything. That's awesome.
And it's people walking around the pool, staff walking around the pool, getting your drinks for you. And it's terrific. It's a heated pool. So,
is it? Okay.
Yeah. So for those of us who do not like cold water, myself included,
which is most,
except for the polar bear plunge, I will do the polar bear plunge. But, that's in and out.
Yeah. As quick as possible.
It opens up before Memorial Day. It generally stays open until the beginning of October, depending on weather.
Yeah.
Because it is heated.
Yeah, we're typically closed like middle of, first or second week of September. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And then there's the wave pool, which is huge.
Yeah.
And that's a walk-in, zero entry pool surrounded by sand.
I was going to say, there's
like
sand around there and stuff. Yeah, that's really...
There's a little mini golf next to it and a snack bar.
There's like a game room with like arcade games or air hockey or all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so there's the main restaurant that's in the clubhouse, and but then there's also over in the other buildings over like around with the game room, there's another restaurant kind of, that's in there as well.
There's are you talking about the restaurant over by the pools?
Yes.
Yeah, the Terrace Grill. It's really open during pool season. But yeah, they serve out by the pool and inside as well.
That's awesome.
And then I didn't even get to the new pool. The new pool is beyond the wave pool, and it's huge. It has a shelf around one end of it where they've got lounge chairs actually sitting in the water, which is fun, as well as many lounge chairs and cabanas out on the deck. And then there's a whole nother end where they've got like an inflated obstacle course. Which
that's really cool.
The kids are like jamming on that.
Like a jungle gyms where like you're like floating, you have the handrail.
Yeah, you're climbing
handlebars.
over things, you're falling
really cool.
off into the water. Sometimes the kids have trouble getting onto it because the adults are, a little feisty too.
Are you supposed to be over there? But that's a cool thing, because I think that sometimes when people hear gated community, they think kind of, I don't want to say uppity, but like Caddyshack type of like mentality. But like kids are like can go have a great time. This is very family friendly
Yeah.
community to where everyone's there to have fun.
Yeah, it's not stuffy. It's not age restricted.
Yep.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And the food, who's the food group, or is it just it's kind of
It's self-managed.
Is it? Oh, that's cool.
All of the club facilities are managed by Troon Golf,
Okay.
which golfers all know that name.
Sure.
They manage great clubs all around the world.
And the food is,
Yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal. But the cool thing about this, and again, even though it's gated, I don't want that to kind of like add this feeling of, oh, I can't afford this, or this is way out of my price point, because gated communities are so expensive. I mean, we have condos that are in the mid to high
200s.
threes. Oh, in the twos.
Right now, the lowest price condo is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, priced at $285.
Wow. And then all the way up to like 2-3 million, ish, and on up. And I mean, there was even that, I think the last lot at the very end of, not the peninsula, the community, but the peninsula at the very end on the map.
Yeah, way out on the bay.
Yeah, that was, it was stunning. This one
Yeah.
right here was so beautiful. And I think that was like $1.5 million lot or something.
In that neighborhood, and I understand the house that's going onto it is like a $2 or $3 million house.
Wow.
For just the construction. Yeah.
But the view
the view will
is just stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely phenomenal.
They'll see all the way up Indian River. They'll see all the way down the bay to the Indian River Bridge.
Yeah.
And although when you drive to the peninsula, you feel like you're, off the coast, you get down there and you're about 3.5 miles from the ocean as the crow flies. It's not a long distance, and the breeze is always blowing.
And when you come down to where this area is, there is a private beach that's here. You have, there's storage racks here for kayaks, or is that just like a holding area?
They've got kayaks and stand-up paddle boards that the club owns that you can rent.
Oh, I thought they were. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you don't have to own them if you don't want to.
You don't have to.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and there's another kayak launching pad up on the Lingo Creek.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At the Nature Center. So if you have your own and you don't want to schlep it all the way to the bay,
sure,
do that, and then stay in a very protected area where there aren't boats going past you. Especially if you're a novice.
So yes, you definitely can kind of like putz around here on a paddleboard or in a kayak, but yes, I mean you get not too far beyond here, and there are boats everywhere. Because if we look just across the waterway here, this is where Paradise Grill is, and you can just see these are just slips everywhere. So this is a very big, and these are open to this whole community, but also there you can rent those slips outside of the community. So a lot of people go, will keep their slips and their boat there because of Paradise Grill, and it's it's pretty affordable from a slip standpoint. So yeah, you don't want to be kayaking out here too much. I had my boat over here, and we saved 2 kids that came swimming out of the peninsula, and they got caught, and we pulled them up and saved them and took them back over.
Wow.
So I was like, "Yay, I'm a hero."
Yeah, I've talked to a homeowner or two that kind of ventured out in a kayak, first timers, and went like, "We're going to kayak over to Paradise Grill," and they found out that one way was pretty easy,
and you turn around,
and it's like the wind and the tide are working against you, and it's not the same paddle at all.
And it's not far, but that's a long walk. You got to walk all the way around. But
it would be a long walk.
But it's is this where the launch is you're talking about right here?
That's where the Nature Center is, where the green dot is.
Gotcha.
It's like a screened-in pavilion, and
cool. And
homeowners can just schedule to, if they want to have a party or something, just boom.
That's pretty cool.
Reserve the Nature Center, and it's a pretty good place.
There's, literally as many times as I've been in here, look, here's the circumstance. You live there.
Yeah.
And you just learned something new yesterday when you went to that thing. So, how much is there? There's just so much going on.
I lived there and been selling homes there since 2005.
Wow.
So.
And you just learned something new.
Yeah. You learn something new all the time.
Which is cool. There's just, because it is.
There's a lot.
It is a bigger community. How many units are? I know that the condos kind of throw the number off a little bit, but
it was originally approved for 1,404 units.
Okay,
but they've done some sort of reimagining of what was going in different areas over the years.
Sure,
I'm not quite sure where the the unit number
numbers
is going
now.
to top out, but I would think it's going to be somewhere around 1,300, maybe 1,325, something like that.
Okay. It is, but it's just one of those, it's, as you can see from a standpoint looking here from whatever 30,000 feet or whatever, it is of a substantial size. But the cool thing is, if we go over here, probably similar size, you just see it's just nothing but homes.
Yeah.
Look at all the open space, and I think that is, and granted, a lot of the open space is golf, which is also, I mean, whether people are golfing or not, it's still open space between you and a neighboring home. But it just adds to that kind of overall feel of the community. It's done really well. I'm sure we have plenty more that we can talk about it, but I do want to talk about your 2 awesome listings that you have in there. The first is over on Serenity Circle.
Yeah.
This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom home, just shy of 3,000 square feet, at $700,000. So the Peninsula is broken up into, I call them pods. I don't know what you guys actually call them, but
Neighborhoods.
Yeah, so neighborhoods within the main community. So it's broken up into all these little neighborhoods throughout the community. Which neighborhood is this one in?
This one is in the Veranda.
Okay.
Which is also my neighborhood.
I know that. I know that community.
It's a good
that
place.
neighborhood.
It's kind of an interesting neighborhood in that it's set up with one row of houses that go all the way around the outside, and they're on perimeter lots, and they almost all back up to golf course. And then there's the whole middle of the neighborhood, and none of those homes back up to golf course, but still many of them are set into locations where on the front of your house typically you've got a porch. It was set up that way to encourage neighbors to get together on the front porch like in the old days.
Yeah.
And you've got an open area outside the front of your home. This one is a really good example of that.
And a lot of those interior homes, and please correct me if I'm wrong, tend to have rear garage access, which, if you've never seen it, I think we're so accustomed, especially in the newer communities. You have your front door, maybe a front porch, and then there's your garage door. And if you don't see a garage door, it's because it's a side-load garage, and there's some windows there. When you see a house that has a rear entry garage, you just look at it, and there's something that's different about it. It looks grander, and that's because there's not a garage door.
Yeah,
it's all home. It's all the beautiful aspects. I mean, believe it or not, ironically, I actually really like garage doors. I'm very odd, but there's really nothing that's pretty about the garage. Maybe it's because I'm very into cars, so I know what's behind the garage door. But when you look at the aspect of a home, a front porch is much more beautiful than a garage door. And I think that's where, like, when you have that rear entry, when I worked for a builder and we were building in this portion, and we had a floor plan that we were redoing to have the rear entry garage, and all of a sudden I looked at the front, I was like, wow, it's really pretty. And I was like, oh, it's because there's no garage door. And I think that's just something to point out, because it's really, really nice. It adds some nice characteristics to it. I know this floor plan.
It's called the South Beach.
I think you've had some of these before, and I actually toured one of them. This little nook here, this outdoor secondary balcony space is really, really cool. This is off of the owner's suite, isn't it?
It is.
This is an awesome little thing.
The owner's suite in this floor plan is the one that when I first saw it back in the day, I went, if I ever live here, this would be the floor plan I want, because I love the owner's suite. It's a big owner's suite, great closet space, gorgeous bathroom, and this little private porch right off.
It was such a surprise.
The bedroom.
Yeah, it just kind of and correct me, I forget. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kind of off the owner's suite, there's like a little hall that goes back to the bathroom, and there's this door, and I was like, whoa, there's this private little outdoor space that is so cool. I mean, it really was caught me off guard.
I always said I would have my coffee machine upstairs, and no one would ever see me before noon. I would go out on that porch and read my book and drink my coffee.
This one looks to be screened in.
Yes, it
which is the other one that I saw was not. So I mean, even better. I know that we were talking about mosquitoes, and obviously evenings are even more so. They come out. So
Yeah.
you could sit out there in the evenings, even have a glass of wine, and it's a beautiful, beautiful living room.
Yeah, it's open space plan. Obviously gas fireplace, and it's open to the dining area, and it's open to the kitchen.
Lots of windows.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those back windows look out over the patio that you saw in the last picture,
Oh, yeah.
which has a built-in fire pit.
Oh, very cool. Is it a wood burning fire pit
No,
or a
it's
gas?
gas.
Oh, that's
So it's
better yet.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. I was talking, who was I talking to about it? I forget. There's been so many. We were talking about fireplaces, indoor fireplaces, and, gas versus wood. And, we kind of think of that a wood fireplace is so nostalgic, and it's, reminds us of the holiday seasons and everything. I'm like, they are such a pain in the neck. Because it's like, I want to go to bed for, and it's, what do I do? You got to get rid of this fire.
Yeah.
It's so nice to flip a switch. And just
I love the crackling sound.
It is. But boy, there is a price to be paid for the crackling.
the wood and the mess. And
the ash, and next thing you know, it's like
the cleaning.
This poof, and like all the ash comes out. And it's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And the kids that are playing with it, and cool tile floor. That's nice.
Nice island with a place for people to sit and have their coffee or their breakfast or a drink.
Yeah, really. And this floor plan flows really well.
It
and
does.
It's I don't think that you realize until you get into it, because this also has a loft in it, or is that
this one? This one doesn't have the loft.
Oh, okay.
A loft was one design aspect that you could choose as a new owner. But a fourth bedroom was the other option, and they went for the fourth bedroom.
Which in this community, and I tell people all the time, when you buy homes down here in Sussex County, and especially when you're in a community like the Peninsula, you become the beach house for all of your friends and family. Mm-hmm. So everyone wants to come because now you're the cool guy that has the beach house. So there is never a bad thing of having shortage of bedrooms, because trust me, people are going to want to be hanging out with you, especially when you're the cool guy at the Peninsula.
Yeah. You can always use it as something other than a bedroom if you care to, but you've always got it.
Do the office option, this is those big doubles, French doors that go into the.
That's actually upstairs. The area closest to the camera is kind of a central foyer for upstairs, and then to the left there you're seeing into the owner's suite.
The owner's suite, but it has these big French doors.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Is really. It is the whole house is a wow factor, but when you go up and in those French doors, if you could have angels singing as they open up, honestly, it's this wow factor. I know it was a really stunning. I mean, look at the size of it, and that's got to be a king size bed.
Oh yeah,
and you have a chaise lounge and the desk, and I mean, it's beautiful and it's massive. And sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want all that wasted space in an owner suite. But once you have it, and it's not a matter that it's wasted space, you just have plenty of room to move.
Yeah, there is at the wall closest to the camera, there's a hookup for a TV.
Oh, there we go.
And there's actually room at the end of the bed that if you wanted to put a sofa there.
Oh, nice.
And a coffee table, you certainly could.
It really is.
It would not feel like a small room.
And even adding the tray ceiling, which from a building standpoint is a pretty big expense to do, but it adds that extra height. It's nice architectural detail, but it
just
adds
makes
height.
It feel that much more special.
Yeah, really, really, really. Here we go.
There's your porch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you go out onto it, it's a surprise when you go up and you don't expect, you're already wowed by this really big owner suite, and then you have this nice little your own private little outdoor space that's just for the owner suite.
Yeah.
And the bathroom to go with it,
Huge vanity, double sinks, and a soaking tub in the corner. They've done so many plantation shutters throughout this house.
Have they?
And that's just, aside from in the bathroom where you want your privacy,
Sure.
but you don't want to necessarily block out all the light. It's nice in every room
Yeah.
for that reason.
So then owner's suite is upstairs, and then 3 additional bedrooms are up there? Or do you have
3 additional bedrooms, yes.
3 upstairs, okay.
And
This is a second-story balcony, or?
that is a second-story balcony off one of the bedrooms.
Beautiful. Really, I mean, for someone that's looking for, I mean, there's plenty of people that are, this is their primary residence, in the Peninsula. But if you're looking for a primary or secondary, you have, when you go through and you walk this floor plan, because like I said, it was shocking when I went in there because I'd never been in that floor plan before, even back when I was, working for the builder, building in that neighborhood. It's a really well done floor plan, and this little kind of walking path, which is a really nice touch.
Yeah, that's off the front of the house, and out there at the gazebo, there's a lot more furniture than what was there when I took this shot. But the neighborhood actually has parties out there.
Oh, that's cool.
Just very informal get-togethers for the residents.
That's very cool. Yeah, beautiful house, and I know that sometimes we just throw numbers around because we're dealing with beach properties, but at $700,000 for a 4-bedroom home that is in the Peninsula, I mean that is an extremely well priced home for someone, and
I think it is. Yeah,
and this is going to pertain to this listing as well as the next one we're going to look at. But real quick, let's segue into what is included in the HOA, because that is it's a very big savings when people, at first people go, oh, wow. But then as you break it down, it's like, oh, wow, the opposite direction.
Yeah. In the veranda, the HOA fee is $931 per quarter. So every 3 months you're going to pay it. And it sounds like a big number. It's almost $4,000 a year. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But included in that is all your lawn and landscape maintenance. Okay. So you are not out pulling weeds or edging your lawn or spreading mulch or any of that stuff.
Well, you said something key. You said lawn maintenance. It's not grass cutting.
It's
lawn.
Beyond grass cutting.
I mean, that's mulching and like everyone's house is always looking beautiful because it's like true lawn maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah. I should say that the standard mulch in the Peninsula is pine straw.
Yes.
If you keep with the pine straw,
like
you're golden. They take care of you.
Yeah.
They replenish it in the spring. They keep it up. If you want to have a bark type mulch, you can, but that's something you've changed, and it's up to you to maintain that mulch.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Small detail.
Yeah. But that's important because.
But some people, prefer one look over the other, and if you want to have it, you can.
But it's funny when you go in there. The first time I went in, I was like, "Oh, why is they're using pine mulch?" But it feels, it adds that kind of beachy vibe.
Yeah,
a lot of beach as you go up and down the coast. A lot of beach communities. I used to be on the marketing side for working with builders, and I had a builder that was down in North Carolina, just along the coast, and same thing.
Yeah, that's what they use.
They use that pine stuff, so it's nice. And as far as I'm aware, I think they may be the only community in Sussex County that's using throughout the whole community using that pine mulch. I can't think of anyone else.
I haven't seen anybody else do it.
It's neat. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
So you were saying so true lawn maintenance.
Yeah, lawn and landscape care, and it also includes your Verizon Fios internet and TV programming package, which is huge.
Yeah.
That could easily cost you over $200 a month. So that almost covers it right there.
I'd say there's $600 a quarter.
Yeah. That's also paying for the guards at the gate, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, even Christmas.
Yeah.
And road maintenance, trash collection is in there.
That's $70 a quarter-ish, depending on service. So, I mean, but we take, even at $200, which I think that's being a little bit on the generous side. I mean, my bill for internet and TV and phone before my last house, I was like $230, $240. But at $200 for a quarter, that's $600. You start talking about $30 a grass cutting. There's $120 a month. So I mean, we've already exceeded that $900 a quarter, and you're getting everything. The trash included with it. So that's a big.
They work hard to keep the fees reasonable
Well, and
while providing a really high level of service.
And at that, for that money, they also work hard to keep the community beautiful.
Yes.
Which is, the trucks are always in there, doing something in the community, beautifying it, which I think is...
There's an army of landscapers out there.
Now, for the community, there are different memberships that you can buy into, depending on... You're not forced to go to pay for golf if you're not a golfer, because you don't have to... A lot of people think that I have to be into golf in order to go into the Peninsula, like I should be.
No, but before we go to that,
Yeah.
I want to also say that you would pay a condo fee in the veranda because it's set up as condo ownership, which isn't... sometimes people go, oh, I don't want that. There's really very little difference in what we would think of as what realtors would call a fee simple home
Sure.
Versus a condo ownership. All it means is that instead of having a subdivided lot that your home sits on and that lot belongs to you, it's deeded to you, you share the ownership of the land that the whole veranda neighborhood sits on with your neighbors. It's not a complicated thing. And what the condo association does is they get a master insurance policy that covers all the homes.
Everything.
There's a deductible, but it's $567 every 6 months that you pay for that.
Okay.
So around $1,000 a year for the condo association that pays for your insurance.
Sure, yeah.
You'll get a small policy on the side that covers your furniture and personal belongings,
items.
personal liability, that kind of thing. But that's an inexpensive policy, so you're getting good value there too.
Yeah. No, my homeowner's is $1,900 a year. So, that would be nice if I could almost cut that in half and just add a little rider for personal items. So,
when I moved from a small community closer to Lewis out to the Peninsula, my community was a no-frills community at all. And it had a $100 a year HOA fee. And I signed my contract to build my house in the Peninsula, and I went, okay, I guess I need to actually do an analysis. I know what the fees are, but I need to do an analysis compared to what I'm spending now.
Sure.
And I actually came out with the HOA and condo fee. I was saving $100 a year moving to the Peninsula for...
And you got so much more.
Yeah, there's no comparison.
Yeah, I know where your community was, and it's a nice community, but it is, to your point, it's no frills. It's homes on a road, and that's pretty much it.
That's it, and you do everything yourself.
And you
write checks here and there all over the place.
Yeah, and no lawn care, no nothing.
No, nothing.
And the nice thing is about lawn care is, a lot of people, when I'm talking to clients and I'm just discussing it, a lot of times people think of it for myself. How does it affect my life? And that is definitely part of having lawn care. But the other part is, because it's affecting your life that way, it's also affecting your neighbor's life that way. So their lawns always look nice too.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, oh, he's getting lazy, or maybe it's an older person that doesn't have the energy, or maybe they don't have the physical capability to go out and cut the grass every week. No, instead the team comes in, they cut everyone's grass. There's irrigation, or there's no irrigation that's there. So that way, grass is always nice and beautiful, and especially when it's a secondary home, you come down to your house and it's like, I just put on my bathing suit and go to the pool. I don't have to put on my work shorts and start.
Your weekend working. Who
Who
wants to do that?
That's not why you buy a house like this or live in a community like that. That's the last thing you want to do is have to worry about getting hot and sweaty and work for it. And again, there are different levels, and again, some people think, well, I shouldn't be buying in this if I'm not a golfer. You don't have to be. It can just be something beautiful to look at, and you don't have to pay for that if you don't want to.
Yeah, if the sports aspect of the Peninsula is not of concern to you, it's not a draw, you're not going to use the golf course, you're not going to go out and play tennis or pickleball, a social membership gets you everything else but tennis and golf. It gets you into the clubhouse. It gets you into the pools. It gets you into the fitness center. The fitness center is marvelous. And a social membership is the most inexpensive way to get in. And it's a $15,000 initiation fee when you join, which is typically settlement day.
Sure.
And then the monthly dues are $337.
And then do you have to buy a membership of some sort in order to live there?
You do.
Yeah. Okay.
A membership of some level is required. You know what? I just misquoted because I'm looking at a 2023 sheet. It's $351 a month.
So, but that gets you, just so much. Again, but here's what's really cool. When you buy a home in, I'm just going to use air quotes, a standard community or a community that has a clubhouse and a pool, when you go to sell your home, you're selling the exact same thing that you bought. In this circumstance, you can buy a home that's simple, that's a social home. But when you go to sell it, you can sell it as a social home, you can sell it as a sport home, or you can sell it as a golf home. So those new buyers coming in, they're able to now, attribute 3 different lifestyles to that house based upon how they are. So you have an avid golfer, they don't have to go, I love this home, but I wish it was on the golf course. They can be like, I'm going to choose a golf membership, or I'm going to choose a sports membership, or I'm going to choose the social membership, which just broadens the net to that, that your house is able to.
On this particular home, the people who own it are sport level members. So that membership has access to the golf course. You're paying greens fees as you go, so you are in control of what it's costing you. There's a kind of a historical thing with the memberships. I don't know how to explain it better than that. At the beginning, there was always a choice between, at the beginning, all of the memberships were partially refundable.
Okay.
That $15,000 membership fee that I quoted for social would have been 90% refundable to you at the beginning. Later on, they changed it to, no, we're going to make it 80% refundable. People who got in at 90% still get 90%.
Sure.
But new people, it would become 80%. Well, now they've done away with the refundable memberships when you come in and go straight to the club. And the membership prices have gone up. For a sport membership, now you'll pay $25,000, and it's non-refundable if you go straight to the club for it.
Okay.
The owners of this house have a sport membership that was refundable to them.
Okay.
And if you find that property where someone is surrendering their membership, selling their property, and leaving the community, and what they had was a sport or a full golf, which we call reserve membership, the buyer can assume their membership. They get the benefit of it now being a refundable membership to them.
Wow.
Which they couldn't get from the club.
Sure.
And they just pay a small transfer fee.
Like a transfer, the membership over.
So
were they at the 80 or the 90?
I believe they're at the 90, which we're working to confirm with the club right now what exactly the financial status is and what it would take for someone to assume their membership.
But that's a big deal. It really is, and it makes sense. I mean, obviously, when a club is in its infancy, and it's the same way as like with communities. There's it's newer. There's construction going on. Capital is definitely a necessity. But how do you entice people to say, hey, I want to come move into a community that's newer? Maybe all the amenities aren't built yet. So they say, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you, because you're buying in early, it's an equitable. You get part of your equity back, and then as it builds out. And now, I mean, everything's done and built. I mean, obviously, they're continuing, but that's why it's not refundable now, which still is a great opportunity. But when you fall into the opportunity of being able to, have that, transferred over, that is an assumable, membership fee. Yeah. That's awesome. Now you get the benefit. You're getting it now with everything built, but off of, when someone didn't. So that's huge. Is that going to be? Are both of these older like that, or is that just
both are older? But the other listing, the owners they have a reserve membership, and actually the reserve membership category is full,
Oh,
They limit it to 250
Yep.
members, so there's a wait list now
So-
for that. And they're staying in the community.
Oh, so they're gonna obviously-
taking
yeah,
their
yeah.
reserve membership to their new
100%.
house.
Yeah. Makes total sense. But that would give you, if you're a golfer and you go in, reserve obviously is full. You still do sport. And you can still golf and do all the golfing. You just don't get all the extra, I guess included rounds. Is there more included that comes with reserve? Or?
Reserve members never pay greens fees at all.
Oh, okay.
They can set their tee times out further in advance with some limits.
Sure.
But also sport members don't have a number of rounds that they're limited to. They're just paying greens fees as they go.
Gotcha.
So there's not a huge difference on the golf side between sport and reserve. There are some, extra little parties and perks that the reserve members get.
Yeah. Which I mean, that's partially what they're paying for.
It is.
So
It is. And and if you come in as a sport member, but you really want to move up to the reserve level, you put your name on the wait list. And, it's not a long wait list at this point, so chances are good that you could move on up in a reasonable period of time.
yeah. Well, that's great, and it makes total sense. And I want to take a look here at Barefoot, because Barefoot is another really beautiful home.